Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Ready to go? How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good, man. Got another training camp done. They got the last practice out the way today. Blessed to say that was number, it's not that many. I shouldn't have this much trouble thinking of it. I think it's number 4. 2 in Buffalo, something 2 like here. That. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. How about that? And team looks pretty good. They had a nice performance last week. Let's see if they can build on it. No serious injuries or anything going on in camp today. I know that Cam Smith is back, so that's really good news.
Yeah, Cam Smith is back, and he's not wearing the non-contact jersey. I've tried to make note of that every time I've seen him. He was a full go today. No Zach Sealer today after he had some sort of leg issue yesterday. Unclear what exactly it is. Either way, it was enough to hold him out of practice. He might pop up on that first injury report, but the team is under no obligation to tell us until week 1. So that's that. Still no Christian Wilkins, still no Jalen Waddle, although he was there. Jalen Ramsey there wearing a leg sleeve now. No crutches. That's incredible to me. No Jeff Wilson today. Not sure why.
It is.
No Devon A-Chain. We saw him working off to the side. Nick Needham working off to the side. Alec Ingold was back. And there was a one scary moment with Deshaun Elliott where there was a collision over the middle of the field, and he stayed down for a little bit. But it looked like it was one of those where he was just kind of like in shock and coming to terms with the fact that he's okay, because he popped right back up, and I don't even think he missed a snap. So that has been your injury report here with Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There you go. I like it. I guess we had injured egos, I guess, over the last 36 hours with Tua Tagovailoa and Ryan Clark. I got to say, I got to commend Ryan Clark. That wasn't a half-ass apology. That was the way a real man apologizes when you're truly remorseful. I'm going to go with that. I think he was truly remorseful. And hey, listen, we all screw up. We all make mistakes. And I think he realized he made a mistake. And I thought that was a really classy apology by Ryan Clark, actually.
Yeah, I think it was. I got to be careful with what I can and can't comment on here, because this is somebody who works at my same company, albeit different.
Oh, that's right.
Different portions of it, but no, I mean it seemed genuine. That's about all I can say. It seemed genuine to me. That's about all I could say. I did write. There is literature.
Yeah, I'm a Ryan Clark fan. I was disappointed.
There's literature that exists on our website.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said there's literature that exists on our website that details Tua Tagovailoa's offseason. For anybody who works at ESPN or doesn't work at ESPN, doesn't matter to me. Anybody curious or skeptical about what he did, the literature is there for the taking, for your consumption. I wrote it. I did. Yeah. It came out on Saturday. It's extensive. It's about as detailed as I could be without violating any agreements, any confidentiality agreements, but you get a sense for what he was doing. He was working.
And by the way, what Marcel is talking about is he tracked down his trainers, his jiu-jitsu trainer and everything, and so he did the interview. You should check it out there on ESPN. And for Ryan, where I was disappointed was that it's kind of like the Mike Florio thing, like from last year. He was doing that stupid shit that, oh, Tua's not 215, he's 195. And I'm like, yo, bro, you're not even here. You don't even stand next to the guy. You could tell he's not 195. Don't be an idiot. And to me, that was the part of that I was disappointed in Ryan Clark, because I was like, dude, have you been here? Did you stand next to him? He's not fat, bro. You know, the guy's in shape, and he's thicker, he's stronger. You can tell, it's like you're commenting on shit that you didn't really see. And then I give him credit, because in the apology, he talks about he spoke with Nick Hicks, to his trainer, and obviously Nick filled him in on, no, man, this guy's been doing this, and this. And so, he kind of went and back and did his homework, and he apologized. So I commend him for going the extra mile to make sure, because a lot of times we see the half-ass apology, and, they're just doing it for show or for PR. You can tell as a former player, it he felt his mistake. Let's just put it that way. And that's cool.
Yeah, and again, like, I think a joke is one thing, a locker room joke is one thing. I think what anybody took offense to, and people took offense to, was the suggestion that he wasn't working hard. And
right,
again, like, I think all parties can appreciate the genuine nature of what's been a public conversation, a public back and forth. But it feels like this isn't something that's going to be back and forth. This isn't, anybody's digging in the sand. There was a comment, there was a response, there was an apology, and now we can move on. No more harassing,
right.
No more, mention, no more this and that. Comment, response, apology. That is conflict resolution 101.
Yep, let's move on. And now let's move on to the hot button topic, because
let's do it.
The Saquon crap, and then we had the Dalvin crap, and now we've got this crap. And while I try to explain to people that they're interested, they're not paying top dollar for anything. So they're interested, but they're interested in low-hanging fruit. And so that's what's going on here. And so when people say Dolphins are interested, sure they are. But they're not interested in giving him a major contract and deal out major picks or anything. If they can do it in a, cheap fashion, then they'll try and they'll get it done. But I don't believe that
I'm gonna put it this way.
Attempt at high end when they can't really do that.
I was the first person, one of the first people to put the brakes on the Dalvin Cook stuff. We saw eye to eye there. We talked about it. I said
you might have been one of the first, but you were second no matter what, because I was first. Nobody had the Dalvin Cook situation from the get-go than I did.
I'm saying, like, the order doesn't necessarily matter. I'm more highlighting the fact that, I was willing to – I put brakes on it when something wasn't going to happen. Like, I feel like I built credibility, on this show. I'm not but like, I feel like, I don't just be bullshitting out here. This is a little different. This one's a little different. There was their interest in Dalvin Cook, which was we want you at cost or nothing. There was interest in DeAndre Swift, which was, what do you guys want?
Right.
Okay. There was interest
in
Josh Jacobs, which was, what do you guys want? He's not available. Okay. This is not that. This is not that. From what I am hearing, what people are telling me, what I've heard, this is very real. This is very real. I'm not saying
it's only real because the Colts are in a bind, but it's not. It's not big commitment, is what I keep trying to tell people. There's not going to be a major salary being dished out here. If he wants to sign a reasonable salary, then they probably will exercise it. If the Colts aren't asking for too much, I had Stephen Holder on. It's on the platform. We just did it a little while ago, and we posted on the platform. And Stephen kind of agrees with me that they're kind of in a situation where, if they want to really get rid of him, then yeah, Miami could maybe have him. But if they're going to ask for a first or a second rounder, I don't think Miami's making those kind of
Well,
commitments.
I don't think anybody is or should pay a first rounder to the Colts. And I say that not because Jonathan Taylor necessarily isn't worth a first rounder, but more so the Colts don't deserve a first rounder for this person. You don't deserve that kind of compensation when you are yourself saying he's not worth it to pay. It doesn't make sense when you're saying he's not worth paying, but he's worth a first round pick. That doesn't track. So nobody is going to
actually, no running back is worth paying, right? Because no running back's getting paid anymore.
All I'm saying is my stance that nobody should send them a first round pick has more to do with don't reward the Colts rather than it does, the player itself. Like, don't reward the Colts for this. Like, if you think he's worth a first round pick, that means he's worth money, real money. It means he's worth top tier, elite caliber, upper echelon A1 money, top tax bracket money. So
he's supposed to be in that bracket. The problem is that bracket is getting smaller and smaller and smaller because nobody's paying running backs. And the San Francisco thing is a complete outlier because they don't have a quarterback. They're not paying a quarterback. So they have that luxury of being able to do that. But most other teams that are going to have to either pay a quarterback or pay a quarterback, brother, nobody's paying a running back anymore.
This is why it's just so dumb, though, that the Colts are doing this, because they're like the one of the few teams who can afford this kind of hit. They don't have to pay Anthony Richardson for like 5 years. Oh, like what is this doesn't apply to you, Jim. This logic doesn't apply to you. You can pay Jonathan Taylor. That was it's so stupid to me. So stupid to me. That's why I'm saying don't reward the Colts with the first round pick for fumbling this bag, because it's so stupid. But I think any trade is predicated on a contract.
Right. Well,
so that's where things would be difficult because
compensation too. Like I was talking to Steven and I threw this out. I said, okay, they need corners because they got some young ones. So you give them Nick Needham, you give them Raheem Mostert, and maybe a fourth rounder. See, I can see the Dolphins doing something like that because they have extra corners, they have extra running backs, and a fourth rounder ain't shit. And then that would be very little compensation. And then they get back Jonathan Taylor, and then they can have to, work out some kind of a contract. I'm sure it won't be a crazy one. But if the Colts are expecting the Dolphins to give them a second or a first or something, and then also they have to give Jonathan Taylor some money, that's just not going to happen, bro. It's just it has to be a cheap deal, or I don't think the Dolphins are really going to make it. My point is, it's not so much also the compensation to Jonathan. I don't think they're going to give because there's not going to be a lot of teams. There's so many backs that have been tried to trade and backs that want to get out there. Eckler wanted to be out in the open market. Dalvin took forever to get a deal, and only Aaron Rodgers is the one that got him that damn deal. Saquon couldn't get traded. I mean, this is like gone all around the league. There are running backs to be had. You can go trade for Derrick Henry, and he's not getting anything. It's a weird thing. So I think both compensations are hurdles, not just with Taylor, but I think also with the Colts too.
Yeah, it's complicated, but if they were to say Cedric Wilson and a second for JT and like a sixth.
Well, that's a salary dump, but they don't need the receiver. They need the back.
Sure about that?
Yeah, no, they need more of the back if they trade Taylor. So they're going to want a back, not a receiver. Their receiving core is all right. They're fine.
No, they're not.
Dude,
no, they're not.
Pittman
it's Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, and Isaiah McKenzie. That's not fine. This is not fine. Cedric Wilson would immediately come in and see the field. Would immediately come in and be
he would be. He would be.
He'd be 2B or 2A with Alec Pierce. Like it could happen.
Yeah,
they would probably love a running back, but I don't know how willing how willing McDaniel would be to get rid of Mostert like that. Like I think there's more. I know it's a business. It's a business, but
but you can't acquire Jonathan Taylor and then not give back a running back because they are thin at running back once you give Jonathan Taylor. and you have a running quarterback. So it's really important to have somebody complementary to him. Dude, they're not going to take Jeff Wilson. They're going to want Raheem Mostert. They're going to want that speed. You know what I'm saying?
It's their fault for wanting to trade a running back. If your depth issues at running back are not my problem if I'm Miami, but like you chose this is the bed that y'all have made. They signed who? Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake is a serviceable back.
Dude, he does a good job. It's just
I don't know what
the hell is. I don't know what's wrong in his career. I don't know what's wrong with him or something, but he lacks no ability. I mean, he has all the ability to be a good back, and he's proven it over and over again, but he can never find a home, dude.
Good back, versatile, good pass catcher, strong runner. Like, that's a fine back. And then they could draft one next year. They could draft a Blake Corum next year. They could draft a Donovan Edwards next year, or the kid from Braylon Allen, the kid from Wisconsin. Like, there's backs next year you could draft. In theory, Miami could do the same thing, or you can get a surefire star.
It's just nowadays you have to change your ways. You have to change your ways nowadays, Marcel, in the NFL. You have to look at backs like we're only drafting you for one contract. Very few guys you're going to end up giving a second contract, and we're watching it all over the league. And why? Because all these teams ended up getting burned by giving running backs big contracts, and that crap scared the hell out of them. And that's why they're going the other way. That's why the whole Jonathan Taylor thing, or Jacobs or whatever, I almost feel like it's Jalen Ramsey all over again. Oh, you want to give him for a third rounder? Oh, yeah, we'll take him. Here you go. Here's your third rounder. You know, they're not going to give up a top pick, but that's a corner. That's a shutdown corner. That's one of the 5 most important positions. Running back is no longer one of the 5 important positions in the NFL. That's why this whole thing is so odd, because nobody's paying for backs. And, you know, here's the interesting part. Be prepared, Marcel. Let's say they make this trade, and let's say they give Jonathan Taylor a big contract. After all this crap, guess what's next? Let's kill Chris Greer for giving a running back a big contract. So after all this crap, that's the next wave of criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they can offload Noah, and this is finally a deal that they can find Noah a fresh start. But I'm all for attacking windows, man. I'm all for attacking windows.
I just
2
think
years ago,
how it happens.
I wouldn't. If
that's how it
in
happens.
2021, if we're talking about this, no brainer. Don't do this. You don't need it. You're so many pieces away. You're an entire offense away from being a playoff team. That team shouldn't have even been, without that run against the garbage juice of the NFL with that 7-game win streak.
Right.
The Dolphins shouldn't even been sniffing playoffs. That team had no offensive talent. It was Tua and Waddle. Solamente. That's it, man.
You're right.
So, 2 years ago, hell no, don't trade for a running back.
I just think that if they're willing to accept ancillary pieces and some kind of a mid-round pick, I think they'll do it. You know, if they don't have to give up much, I think they'll do it. But if they're asking for high picks and then Taylor also wants money, I just don't see it happening with anybody. It's not just a Taylor thing. No, you know what I mean? He wants low-hanging fruit, bro, and I think that's what this is all about. So we shall see.
I don't think he's afraid to pull triggers on a trade. We haven't seen him do one, obviously, for a running back, but for talent, I don't think he's afraid to.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that this is the offer. As has been reported by my own network, there's been an offer. This isn't just a.
No, hey, I know that.
You guys put it's legit. This is legit. Yeah. But I wouldn't be shocked if it comes out, 2nd round pick, salary dump, maybe a late to mid round pick in exchange for JT and a late round pick.
Yeah, the salary dump stuff would be nice. That would actually be cool. I like your idea of Cedric Wilson. I do like your idea because that's a salary dump.
That's $7 million. It's like $7 million.
He's not a salary dump at this point. That last year that he has left, it's nothing. So, but this one is. This one's big.
Because let's be honest, it's not the only other candidate here would be Emmanuel Ogbah in terms of a salary dump, like pure salary dump. But I don't think Indy's going to take on $16.5 million or whatever he's owed this year, $17 million this year. It's not. The contract looks bad. It looks. It's not that it just looks bad. It looks worse because they traded for Bradley Chubb last year. I understand that Ogba was hurt, but they traded for and extremely paid Bradley Chubb last year. Now you've got two guys making 18 plus a year or 17 plus a year that, play edge rusher. We'll call it that are edge rushers. They're technically a D end and an outside linebacker, but for all intents and purposes, they are edge rushers. They're pass rushers.
That's what you pay.
And
you
combined,
you pay the quarterback, you pay the offensive tackle, you pay the edge rusher, you pay the
combined,
and you pay the number one wide receiver.
But combined, you're getting what out of that? That's $27.
Oh no! Well, you had the. I know, but you had the coordinator switch, and so now Agba doesn't fit. So it's not. These are things you can't plan on sometimes. You know what I mean? And Agba got injured.
Hey, semantics aside, all I'm saying is the contract looks bad because this is where we're at. It looks bad now. I don't think we were. I think we all assumed okay, they overpaid a touch for him at the time, but that's what happens. That's generally what happens. Is guys get a little overpaid.
Well, that's fine. He was underpaid. He was underpaid the first 2 years.
Yeah, so highly productive.
It balances out. That's the part that conveniently people forget. He was kind of a steal the first 2 years, and so unfortunately the injury and all that kind of clouds this whole thing. So we'll see. All right, so I let you go with this. Does it happen by Tuesday? Yes or no? Is Jonathan Taylor a Miami Dolphin?
Yes. If I have to choose one way or another, this isn't me. This is not me banging my fist on the table. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. If I'm forced to choose one way or another, I say yes. This is the one. This is the one. I think this team with Jonathan Taylor. Look, I like Rheaume a lot. I like Mostert. I like A-Chain, and obviously with A-Chain's case, this is going to stunt his development a bit. But I think Jonathan Taylor is a top 4 player at his position, top 5 player at his position, and he's 24 years old. There's not a lot of tread, worn away on those tires. And they have especially with hold on. And especially with A-Chain and with Mostert and or Wilson, we'll see if they had to give up one of them. They have the depth on there so that they don't have to give him 40 carries a game, that's going to bring up an interesting dilemma here because you're paying him like a 20 plus carry a game kind of guy, but you have the depth on your team that he doesn't have to be. So that would make it interesting, but I think this is one of those, like I always say, add good players, figure out the rest later.
The dude has 756 carries in 3 years. Okay?
200 something a year.
Yeah. It might be a little bit more than that, but closer to 300 actually. And then
700 in 3 years.
200 and 70 or something. Is that what it would average? And then
30.
And you go look at his college numbers, because he carried the ball 232, 332, and 192, and then receiving had.
All right, well, let's put it this way. Who's got more tread on their tires, Jonathan Taylor or Dalvin Cook?
No, but he's older.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's 24. In terms of adding a running back and trading for a running back, adding a 24-year-old, 25-year-old versus adding a 29-year-old.
Oh no, for sure. No,
is that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making here. I'm not saying he's fresh. I'm not saying he's never been used before. Clearly,
and dude, in 3 seasons, he had 926 carries at Wisconsin, 299, 307, and 320.
Yeah, he's got mileage for you.
He's got mileage. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, he don't really get touched. What do you average? 7 yards a carry at Wisconsin? That's not
6.6, 7.1, 6.3.
He was barely getting touched. That was in Wisconsin. That's how you do it, man. Plus, it's so cold up there that anytime you get hit, it's immediately you're icing, so you feel good.
Hey, that shit hurts.
I'm lying, guys. Don't take
that shit hurts.
I'm lying.
Football in the cold hurts.
It sucks. Bro. Football in the cold sucks.
Yes.
I played high school in California. Luckily, it was beautiful. We didn't have our own football field, so we usually played on Saturday at home and then Friday night on the road. But we played one game in super northern California against Tule Lake High School, and it was 20-something degrees, 20, 30 degrees at kickoff. And our coach told us, if you wear sleeves and fumble, you're never getting the ball again. So, I think I found sleeves, the sleeves that have the grit on the inside.
Yeah.
I took the opening kick probably 30, 35 yards, and it got popped by one of them country boys up there.
Uh-huh.
I went back to the huddle. I was like, guys, it's going to be a long night. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. These boys hitting, man. This hurts.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Catch his work there at ESPN and catch him twice a week doing his thing right here, baby, on the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Thank you. Don't forget, folks, Welt Rheaume, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, commercial litigation, personal injury. We are in hurricane season. Save that number, because if, God forbid, we get hit by a hurricane, you want to be protected by them, because the insurance companies really are not protecting you. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt Rheaume can help.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.